Dim, dam, dadilam, vacarme s'en va dans l'oubli éternel. Et Gustave dom guardiam, dilim, didididilam, lutes seradodilom, seram. Dim, dim, da, 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 dim, da, 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 dim, da, di, dam. Dim, da, 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 dim, da, 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 dim, da, di, dam. Dans là-haut sera ravi, les toits à sur noir gris fera. Clair, obscur, trouble de rature, trouvera effet. Clair, obscur, bordé aux peintures, trouvera sans elle. Clair, obscur, trouble de rature, trouvera effet. Clair, obscur, bordé aux peintures, trouvera sans elle. Ô clair, obscur, trouble, rature. Clair, obscur, guardé aux peintures. Clair, obscur, trouble de rature, courera effet. Clair, obscur, guardé aux peintures, trouvera sans elle. Clair, obscur, trouble de rature, trouvera effet. Clair, obscur, guardé aux peintures, trouvera sans elle.
Bro, this song be going forever. What am I just supposed to wait here forever? True. This song's pretty good though. Oh, it wasn't even the drop. Oh, this is the part. Look, it's even a live performance. Who cares? Heath, did you see I watched a Pokemon episode? That's pretty cool, huh? See, I even have the episode up here so I can read all the great trivia at the bottom. Balls featured in this episode are vastly different to those later introduced Sport Ball in-game sprites. I didn't read that right. The balls look different to what they're going to look later when they accidentally call a thing the same thing again. It's crazy. Both Jesse and James are over 16 years old, according to the English dub. This is one of the few times the animated series has mentioned their ages. That is true. That did happen this episode. This was the bug catching contest episode, and Casey came back. But I don't think Heath ever got up to Casey, so, what do we know here? Now, I don't know what the next one is. Typecasting. Should I click on it and see the thumbnail and get our live reaction here, or should I wait until I watch it later? Let's just do it. Let's just click it. What's it going to be? Oh, of course. We're outside of Goldenrod City, and therefore the Sudowoodo episode is coming soon. It's going to be really weird seeing Sudowoodo in the Gen 2 anime when in my head it's like a Gen 4 Pokemon. Brock has a Sudowoodo in the Gen 4 anime, so this is going to be crazy. But anyway, Fossil Fools? Which fossil Pokemon are we encountering? There's no new fossil Pokemon in Generation 2. It's crazy. Anyway, oh my god, the play didn't work. We can get rid of this. Most of this stream, I think, is going to be watching like 2 minutes of a bunch of videos that came out. There's a few I've opened. There's more in the actual playlist. There's the Totally Not Mark video that came out about Vinland Saga that's like 2 hours long that I would like to skip around in a little bit. There's like other ones too, I forget. Yes, me announcing that I did indeed watch a Pokemon episode, as we've discussed. Me and Elite Ari's great Sherlock discussion came out. It is hilarious that literally nobody cares about our Sherlock discussions. Not one person. Oh, and my Footy ENT video is on top. This is the after one. How about you shut the fuck up? 28 likes. And then this one. And then I said they finna choke, but then they actually won. And I got some replies saying, suck my dick, we won. So that was pretty cool. 2K, I thought it was at 1.8 still. Let's look. The great refereeing video didn't even get many likes. This sucks. But this one didn't even get any fall off views. It is interesting. I wonder if this is like an algorithm quirk. You know how we always talk about this super scary algorithm. But I feel like it used to be the case. Like, I feel like this was the case when the Griffith video got really popular. Like, it would like flood people into your like other videos. I remember Trixie would always talk about this. I feel like that doesn't really happen. Now, I know people were complaining at some point. I think this might be in the Red Letter Media video where they complained about YouTube recently, where it's like they changed it so that it used to be a requirement in the code or some shit. I don't know what the fuck code means. But like one of the channel's videos would always be like one of these videos over here. But now it's just not. Probably because how we think the viewer's mind would work is not how it actually works. So you think you watch a video from this channel, you'll probably like this other video from this channel, where we think about it as very creator focused. It's usually not. It's probably like they watched this, so they all watch a fucking Broncos clips video, which is probably better. Or something of a completely, or it's probably better to have a variety of different topics, especially if you're like, I'm sick of football videos. Now I can watch whatever the fuck this is. We can watch manga endings, Pokemon, music videos, and then there's another football video down here. You know, I know how this fucking shit works. Why am I asking questions? I'm a genius. Is Reece Walsh the GOAT of that sport or what? No, but he did play pretty well in this one game. Look at him here. This is him not being the GOAT and falling over and losing the grand final 2 years ago. Look, he's very sad. Oh no, Menhunt losing it 10 years ago. It's all being redeemed now. Those are all of our tweets, though. I also read Chapter 1 of everybody's in great anticipation of Attack on Titan yesterday. I said I was going to try and reread it before the end of the year. Oh my god, is Chapter 1 of Attack on Titan boring? Not because it's boring, but because I've seen this chapter 70 times, and I was like, oh, this is going to be the case for, like, the first, 15 chapters. At least when it starts getting out of anime order, it'll be interesting, I guess. But I just want to reread the initial part so I can make that, this video over here. I got this fucking shit up. Nope, that's the bingo card. I don't have it up. But I want to make the Heart of Early Attack on Titan video or whatever, where I talk about, the 5 big moments from the beginning of Attack on Titan that I think are really good. Or executed really well, at least. Fucking motorbike zooming past out there. That'll be after the Denji video, which we are vaguely making progress on. Should I open it? Oh, and I found a bunch of old documents, too, again. I am on, episode, I think I've watched 17 episodes of Steins Gate now. I've read all of the Claymore chapters, so I've read up to chapter 67, I think, or something, or 64 or something. It's at the end of an arc, so if you knew anything about Claymore, you would know. But also, and I watched my Sherlock episode, so, all I got left right now is Steins Gate, and we're going through that relatively quickly, and I have the next 2 days off. But we should probably try. Oh my god, Heath, did you see this? Should we go over my grand final notes? I was thinking about making this either a PowerPoint or a video, but I was very. People were saying things that I thought were a little stupid, so I was half motivated to make a video. But I think I got the motivation out by making these 4 dot points. Now let's see what they said. Neither team was really at grand final standard, I thought. Eli Katoa was, Reece Walsh was. I'm not sure about anybody else. My goodness, what a great point. The power level of the competition, I feel like, went down. Oh my god, I was using power level. The Origin games weren't too good either. The Raiders just powering into the minor premiership. True, how did that happen? It's because everybody sucked, obviously. Penalties and 6-agains everywhere, letting things go for the team that's behind. Letting things go for the team that's behind. This is more of my ref talking points. The Storm got hit twice early. That's true. Oh, the little execution things the halves got wrong. This is probably the worst big game Melbourne performance I've ever seen. My goodness. True. All true. Who cares? I'm pretty satisfied with this up till here. I think it's like a good opening. And then I'm kind of trying to figure out what comes next. I read part of this to Elite, but that was like 2 drafts ago. Cheap followers for me. This is big, chat. This is big. There seems to be a constant frustration in parts of the Chainsaw Man fandom whenever Denji has another Kuma moment. You get the picture. I don't know. Progress is swell on this video. Reading scripts on stream is never good. And it's never as interesting as you think. Oh my godness, 1 like and 1 comment. Who's this fella? Oh, that's right. Also, Emp Lemon made a video about The Sopranos when I was Ubering back from work the other day, probably yesterday since this was 1 day ago. I watched like the first 30 seconds of this, and it's like every generic Sopranos ending video in your life, the same talking points. So that'll be fun. This is a video I kind of want to click around in. So we'll see this. So what we've got, Uncharted 1 sucks, but not really. 46 minutes. That's an interesting video. This Mother's Basements video, the in-shitification of Crunchyroll. I can't believe we are at the point in history where Mother's Basement, accused Crunchyroll simp by Trixie the Golden Witch, paid off shill, is now making negative Crunchyroll videos. But it's probably because they're being monopolistic and because I'm pretty sure that guy they were all friends with isn't running it anymore. This Sopranos thing that seems like it's nitpicking plot details in The Sopranos seems hilarious, and also the thumbnail is Pine Barrens, which is probably the most popular Sopranos episode, one that I don't like very much. So, why did Pokemon stop making movies? That's half an interesting video. Manga endings will continue to fail. I feel like I see this one. Oh, it's by this guy. This guy sucks. He makes the worst Chainsaw Man videos. Every Chainsaw Man video is about how Denji is this big victim. Maybe we'll click on it for a second. The most hated character in Yu-Gi-Oh! And it's my favorite babe, Alexis. I can't remember her last name. That can't be true. The War on Science by Sean. Scintillating. 4 hours? I'll watch it later. There are some other ones too. I feel like I'm missing a big one. Hey, we already watched this Bulma one. Kingdom Hearts is not confusing. That one seems vaguely interesting. That's not really a stream video, you know. The Totally Not Mark one. That's the other one. Which is the one I'm curious to check out first. Oh my goodness. Wildlight is back. I'm a fellow Aussie from Melbourne. Where are you from, Kyle? Queensland, of course. We hate everybody else. And they all suck, but especially New South Welshmen. Do Victorians really exist? I'm not so sure. So sad Pokemon Horizons doesn't have a film yet. It is true, they haven't made a Pokemon movie in like 6 or something, right? Besides Detective Pikachu, right? Isn't there a second Detective Pikachu or something? Now, I can't remember if Heath was one of the people making fun of this video, but I believe, or maybe it was just Miller, Minty, because Minty's back talking shit again in our Discord server. Totally Not Mark made a video about how all of his videos suck and he wants to start changing them up. And I think his idea for changing them up was like, I'm bored, let me go places and film things. Which is cool. Making video essays does suck. Nobody likes doing it and everybody hates themselves. But, so it seems like he went to like Iceland or wherever the fuck. Are we going to Vinland? I don't know, to Canada or some shit. And we're filming a bunch of these shots and going through history, it looks like, in this fucking thing. But this is also supposed to be like just season 1, I think. Because we've got a lot of footage here. How would you talk about the prologue of Vinland Saga for 2 hours and 14 minutes? Well, I did talk about like half the anime for like 40 minutes, right? So I could do it, but this idiot can't do it and make it interesting. And plus, there was discourse about how Totally Not Mark is supposedly talking about the manga, but there's only anime footage in this, and this is a problem or something. So we'll go through all this and see what we think. Gotta say, so actually I'm distantly related to the guy who this story is about is a pretty strong hook for a review. That's scintillating. I will never forgive YouTube for not pushing this masterpiece. It is true, I did see that it wasn't doing too well views-wise. Stop giving the news away. 90k views is not good. Vinland Saga is not as popular as you think it is. I wonder if there are like hardcore Totally Not Mark fans that are like waiting for Oh, it's like the film buff reactions or something where you're waiting for the next one to happen. I've been watching a lot of my favorite Serbian lesbians. Ugh, I vomited in my mouth. Can you believe it? Need to take a drink here. Watch a lot of Sopranos. Their next Mad Men one comes out tomorrow, I'm pretty sure. So I'm back on the reaction thing a little bit. Film Buff is going through Steins Gate right now, and I probably should watch it, but I'm not going to. Anyway, the point is, you're always like, oh, what's Film Buff going to do next or something? Or what are the the normies going to do Mad Men after they finish The Sopranos? Please tell me they are, brother. Are there totally not Mark fan equivalents where it's like, I can't wait for his very generic review about my favorite manga series coming up next, where he says the power in Vinland Saga is in the quiet moments, or something of the such. Oh, we still have to play bingo, chat. Don't let me forget. Prologue is a massive video essay material of fucking course, manga, Vinland specifically. I know, but 2 hours, unless you're literally going plot beat by plot beat. I mean, you could do it with a recap, easy. But it seems like we're doing history shit here. Anyway, let's just see. Look at those blue waters. Oh my god. Never mind. That's how the ocean works. I was like, it looks like it's going this way, but then the waves are coming in this way, but the tide recedes, you see. Totally Not Mark presents Vinland Saga The Journey Home. Now, I did, in the comment referred to this, where it was like, oh, he says he's like related to Thorfinn or something at the beginning of this video. But Miller the Killer was already making fun of the fact that at the end he says, well, that doesn't really mean anything 2,000 years ago, so a bunch of us have common ancestry. So that would be pretty funny.
Most popular anime are set in fiction.
Oh my god, moving manga images?
Expressions of imagination merely inspired by myth and culture.
True, Vinland Saga is the real world. It is historical fiction a little bit.
Sure. But Vinland Saga is different, because this story, it's real.
True, he stole this from Jockey Bacon's first Vinland Saga video, Making Fiction It's Real, I believe it was called.
Over 1,000 years ago, when most of Europe believed the world ended at the Atlantic Ocean,
I
and
winced
Vikings
a little
ruled
bit
the
at
waves,
Totally Not
a
Mark
story
Presents,
spread through
like,
oral
oh,
tradition was
true.
born. The Vinland Sagas, chronicling the impossible journey of a man named Thorfinn Karlsefni, as he sailed beyond the edge of the known world and became the first European in recorded history to build a life in North America, 500 years before Columbus. This is the true story that Yukimura transformed into one of the greatest works of historical fiction ever created. In this video, I will step into the pages of this manga, retrace the footsteps of this legendary explorer, and breathe life into this brutal history that defined the Viking Age.
Bro, is that Thorfinn in a statue?
And my first stop on this journey is a place you'd least expect. My home, Ireland. Because this
Cool, like, I want to shoot B-roll, okay?
is where I discovered that the main character of Vinland Saga, Thorfinn Karlsefni, was a distant relative of mine.
One who's a great warrior doesn't need a sword.
Was that an actual dub or a YouTuber that was hired to do a dub?
This is the moment that inspired me to write this video. You see, my family lineage has a motto. It reads, "The strong will yield to the stronger." Now you see, in Ireland, family names represent famous clans, and mine was no different. But that motto, it always felt kind of strange to me.
Ireland doesn't have clans. Well, you keep hearing about these Celtic people and they were in the trees or something. No, it's all just England. Get over yourselves.
Ireland's famous for its rebellions against the British. Famous Celtic warriors like Brian Boru, who never
Can you believe these idiots are like fighting each other like we're supposed to give a fuck?
yielded to anything, even in the worst of situations. And yet here's my family, citing subservience, almost like
You know who we fought, chat? The Japanese. You know, that's pretty cool. Who else did we fight? Oh, the Vietnamese. That wasn't very cool. That one, yikes. Who else did we fight? The fucking Turks. Yikes, we lost there pretty bad. Who else did we fight? I'm pretty sure we fought Germans at some point. We killed them. The fucking Irish. We ain't fighting no Irish.
It's a virtue. It just feels wrong. How could a king refuse to fight when someone tries to take their home? What kind of warrior throws down their sword? The fact that this story explicitly explores that...
Do I want to watch this fucking intro bit? I don't care who his grandfather was.
This is my favorite scene in the entire Icelandic section. It refracts plot, Norse legend, and real-world history all at once. It is everything that makes Yukimura's writing so effective, I think. Firstly, there's the Jomsvikings, who are a fascinating inclusion in the story, as the degree to which their legends are true is in some dispute. Fittingly, the anime depicts one of their semi-legendary naval battles as the site of Thor's transformation from legendary Jomsviking to disillusioned pacifist in its opening. However...
This is a fake fight, by the way. No, I think this is in the manga at some point.
What I adore about their arrival here is that it represents a visceral and direct consequence of an all-too-real historical atrocity that will go on to reshape the political landscape of Northern Europe forever. The St. Brice Day Massacre. On November 13th,
True. Remember they like show this for a second, I think, or something, or they reference this in Vinland Saga? I don't care about it.
1002, the then King of England, King Ethelred.
It always sucks. I feel like every time a Totally Not Marked video comes out, we do this, and it's just boring. Now, I've watched a total of about 2 minutes of this video in consecutive sections, but
who would later carry the moniker of the Unready, ordered the systemic killing of Danes living in England. And while historians debate the massacre's full extent, archaeological evidence from mass burial sites at St. John's College, Oxford and Dorset confirms targeted killings in areas with significant Danish populations. Among the victims, tradition holds, was Gunhilda, the sister of King Sweyn, a king with control of Denmark, significant portions of Norway, and most pressingly in this situation, a growing interest in controlling more of England. Floki's suggestion is historically accurate. Sweyn would use this tragedy as a pretext for an invasion in England, a decision that would bring the Viking Age to its height. Perhaps the only humorous consequence to stem from this entire ordeal is the adoption of the moniker King Ethelred would be forced to carry henceforth. Ethelred the Unready. While this nickname seems to sum up the consequences of his reign succinctly, the term unready doesn't mean what we actually might think it means. It derives from the Old English word meaning badly advised. The term
I only know vague things about English history, right? So is this why all of the, so there's like periods, right? So there's this period, and the Vikings do take over. Then there's like the post-Viking period, right? And the post-Viking period is like when George shows up and Charlotte shows up. You know, Harry shows up. Now, then we have all the Nordic names. They're retarded. And then we've got the ones before, all the Lord of the Rings sounding names. This is where they get the Lord of the Rings name. Athelred. Now, I think this, because I'm pretty sure this is an English thing, right? Or is this just a Dane guy that wasn't ready and went in and King Sweyn came in over the top? Or is this the British guy that ordered all the Danes killed?
While this nickname seems to sum up the consequences of his reign succinctly...
Look, there's an AE that's in every Targaryen name.
The term unready doesn't mean what we actually might think it means. It derives from the Old English word meaning badly advised, an ironic compliment to his namesake Ethelred, which means well-advised. All hail King Well-Advised, the Ill-Advised. And in hindsight, given his failed revenge plot against the Norse, his insight...
True, I'm a genius. I figured it out. I know all of history. What's Twilight saying? Fun fact, the Thorfinn statue was torn down because a bunch of white supremacists are gathered around it. Kind of sad Thorfinn would be in his grave. True, we got to take down them old statues. Thorfinn the colonizer will like it. Problem if he's going off the anime, so his reading of the series is fundamentally off. Well, no, it's supposed to be a manga review, I'm pretty sure. My question is, why does Vinland being historically accurate not make it good? Like it's a story, not a documentary? True. It doesn't mean anything.
...of Sweyn's invasion and his failed alliance with Normandy, which led indirectly to the Norman conquest and final eclipse of the House of Wessex and Anglo-Saxon...
Maybe we'll come back to this video, you know. Uncharted 1 sucks, but not really, and we've got meme text and a shaking image.
I'm so tired. Laughing. I don't want to do this right now.
Why is Goku here? I don't like this voice either. What? Hold on, this is actually a new one. He started the video about how tired he is, and that's why he doesn't want to make the video. Not like, man, I really didn't want to talk about this, guys.
Ball. I must. I know I said no more 1-month breaks, but you see what's happening out here, bro. It's a feast, brother. But I got it today. Uncharted 1, then Infamous 1, then Resident Evil 4. Come on, we're on our way. We're doing it. So, the Uncharted games is a series I enjoy very much. I cannot trust a man that speaks ill in Uncharted 4. Oh, I could never. But if you've never played...
True, it's the greatest game of all time. So this is a gaming channel. Where's The Last of Us Part 2 video? I know it's here. Shot. We'll find it. Maybe there's none. Maybe we're building up to it. Oh, there's not that many videos at all. Zombie 100 is peak. True, I read that manga a little bit. We'll get back to it at some point. What else did I open? Oh, I want to watch the Mother's Basement video. This is the real shit. My goodness, he's got a 1 and a point and a 4 and an M next to his subscriber count. That's pretty cool. I don't have that. I don't even have 50,000 subscribers.
Crunchyroll is in big trouble. I'm currently watching all the new anime to prepare for my fall recommendation video, and I couldn't help notice something a little different.
Okay, what do I know from Chibi reviews, and what do I know from general Twitter complaints? And the great Jeff Thu, of course, would disagree with everything Chibi review says, right? So we got the wokeification. Mother's Basement isn't complaining about that. Oh my god, he's got a Horizon Zero Dawn thingy here. That's pretty cool. Now, Mother's Basement once made a video shitting on Uncharted, so that's why we hate him forever. Now, the subtitles changed or something. They're using AI, maybe, to do subtitles. Mother's Basement will definitely not like AI. What else have we got in this discourse? Comments. I doubt there will be any comments on the comments removal. God, I'm a funny guy. Then we've got Monopoly. That's probably what we're going to be talking about. This will be a Lefty BreadTube video, I think. Mother's Basement drama is real shit. It is.
Their subtitles this season.
Oh, it's
Namely
subtitles.
all the new anime to prepare for my fall recommendation video, and I couldn't help notice something a little different about their subtitles this season. Namely, that they're all ass now. The font is worse, the subs don't have a drop shadow anymore.
I did hear they changed how it looks.
They're timed terribly with
They do look too skinny, but I only think that way because I like the way it was.
lines just cutting off halfway through sentences, and when characters speak over each other, they just stack the
It's also interesting because it is, like, the tourism thing for people that care about that is in full force because the vast majority of West people that watch anime now just watch dubs. Now, that was probably always the case, but the internet and this very, like, sort of elitist anime sphere we've created on the internet probably made people believe that, like, oh, of course everybody watches subs. Like, everybody I know watches subs. Even though that's obviously not true. Even when you're really into anime and, like, your friends are into anime. Like, there's always, like, 3 of them that are always watching the dub. And you're like, what, are you fucking retarded, bro? And they're like, I don't give a fuck. Kill yourself. Like, wasn't there, like, I remember discourse about the statistics of, like, Squid Game, like that. Where it was, like, 60% of people watch Squid Game dubbed or something. People are just not going to read subtitles. Like, the average person is never going to do that. And, like, anime is becoming increasingly, what do you call it? Not markable, not advisable. It's becoming, the normal people are getting more into it. That you'd think they wouldn't be on Crunchyroll, right? Like, they'd probably just be watching through Netflix. So it's interesting for Crunchyroll to go in that direction, but the trends probably go down. Even in, like, hardcore anime people, I'm sure dubs are more specific. So basically, they're like, seasonal shit that's only subbed right now. Who gives a fuck? We don't have to pay too much attention. And the people complaining about this probably don't matter too much either. The only way we can is if we farm YouTube videos and create a stink that way, I guess. It'll be interesting.
subs on top of each other.
What is Mr. Wildlight saying? I think nowadays it's more a case-by-case thing. If you hear Cowboy Bebop's dub is good, you watch that. No, most people that watch anime probably don't even know what anime is. They're probably just watching a show they think is cool. They probably know what anime is, but they are aware of zero discourse. You gotta get out of this mindset that anybody that watches Hunter x Hunter has any idea about Hunter x Hunter's reputation. It's not happening. They just like, ooh, let me click on this one. And then they watch it. I don't think people don't talk about media they watch, all right? We need to get out of this mindset too. Like, we're very lacking vision outside of ourselves, I think, when we think these things. I think most people aren't strict elitists about which they prefer. I mean, if I catch you watching a dub, I'll kill you. We should not be watching dubs anywhere, and we should make fun of the people that do. I got a few names. Jockey Bacon watches dubs. Elite RE watches dubs. You know who doesn't watch dubs? Heath. Now I'm going to say White Light, I probably believe, doesn't watch the dubs. Come on now. Now, there are, of course, great dubs. Like all the anime I'm watching in dub. No, it's just Steins Gate. But I can't help it. I was 12, and I wanted to watch it dub. I remember the feeling. I ain't watching sub shit. I ain't reading. Anyway, let's see.
With no indication of who's supposed to be saying what. All of which makes the subs substantially harder to read and creates potential accessibility issues. Plus, there's no typesetting whatsoever anymore, so you can just forget about reading any on-screen text that's relevant to the story of the anime you're watching.
Oh, that means this stuff doesn't get translated. That does suck. I do love my torrent of Steins Gate where every text message is like written out.
And to top it all off, when they finally dropped the first episode for Hiroaka's final season, 9...
Oh my god, I forgot. See, in my head, now there's a famous discourse about how you say My Hero Academia. Do you say Boku no Hero Academia? If so, you're a loser. Now, I forgot. Now, in my head, that's how Mother's Basement says it, because I remember hearing Mother's Basement say it like that 10 years ago. So everybody that says it like that, I think, is a Mother Basement copy. But now I've just remembered hearing him say Hiroaka again, that he says that too. Now, I've never heard anybody else say that, Oh my god, it's almost worse than Boku no Hero Academia. Yeah.
Hours late, it had subtitles for every language except English, even though Hulu got it up just fine right on time. Overnight, Crunchyroll's subtitles.
There's no way these individual streaming services are doing individual subs for this shit, right? There's no way it's not like the step before they get them. That'd be crazy, right? I feel like they would all save so much money if they just coordinated. You know what's very funny about that? Is that I started thinking about that because of football, because it's very clear that both the Fox and Free TV Channel 9 use the same feed, except for specific shots where Channel 9 will have insert shots for certain things. And it's like the exact same, like obviously the cameramen work for both, the director works for both, and then they like divvy it up or something. It's crazy. But I guess, I don't know. Well, do you think there's still a single subtitler employed? I mean, AI has to have gotten rid of this shit pretty quickly, right? Seems like a pretty easy use case. I don't know. There has to not be, because I feel like I would have heard more people complaining about it if it were the case. But look at this video. AI slop is killing our channel. I heard about this complaining video. Anyway, what are we looking at? Evangelion OG dub is better. This is definitely not true, but you know, it's funny. Why is Twitch doing it right now where Miller and Elite RE have the same color on my screen, and right now Wildlight and Heath have the exact same fucking color on my phone when I'm trying to read chat, so I'm trying to differentiate which one's saying which. Now, I bet if I open OBS here, they're going to be different colors. True, Heath is gray and Wildlight is red. Why can't it be like that on my fucking phone? Anyway. Heath says, I only watch subs because seasonal anime makes you wait a week for the dub. Shut up, Heath. People have opinions. They watch stuff. They'll talk about them. Maybe not online, but you bet and a bunch of friends are watching AOT. They're talking about it at Nando's that night. What else is going on in people's lives? The sports game. You got to talk about the sports game. And I feel like most of the time, like, how you watched it would probably not even come up. Like, if you had a conversation with somebody that watched the dub, you probably wouldn't realize that you had different viewing experiences. Unless you specifically were talking about, like, the voice acting being good or bad or something. Which I feel like is not something any normal people would ever talk about. He used to say Boku no Hero Academia to introduce its title. Then when repeating himself, he calls it Hero Aka for short. True, that's how writing works, you know? You introduce the full title at the beginning, and then you do the short. You thought, this State of Origin game, and then throughout the script you just say the Origin game. I know how that works. I need to go outside for knowing that. Lol. No going outside. That's banned too.
Titles have become as bad as Netflix and Amazon's, if not worse. Which
I do dislike in the City of the Animation episode I watched. The way they do subtitles wasn't my favorite. I don't think I've ever had a problem with Netflix. I don't know if I've ever watched an anime on Netflix that wasn't Cowboy Bebop.
Pathetic when their one job as a platform,
Bro, it's pretty pathetic,
is to be the best place to watch specifically anime.
I hate earnestness. I just hate it in every regard. It's what I complain about constantly in the Sherlock discussions. It's what I complain about in the Claymore discussions. Oh my goodness. If you're going to complain about something, it better be funny and exaggeratory, like the Dear Crunchyroll Stop video that Trixie made. I don't need this moralizing. Ugh.
As a platform is to be the best place to watch specifically anime. While there are still services like
Stop admitting you care about things. It's disgusting.
HIDIVE and Ocean Vale offering more limited typesetting, Crunchyroll, who were the best at it until literally last month, have seemingly abandoned it altogether. According to as yet unconfirmed rumors, the cause of this seems to be Crunchyroll forcing their entire localization team to switch to this new software called Una, which integrates streamlined subtitling tools into a team management chat system similar to Slack. Also, there's some
epic
AI crap in there.
Not AI!
Because, of course, there is. Although, apparently that is through third-party extensions, not built into the app itself. And sources within Crunchyroll have confirmed that they're not using AI in subtitling at all. For now. There has also been some hay made about how Una's based out of Tel Aviv, though this video is
Oh, I do remember that discourse too. It's an Israeli company. That is funny. He just said it was like a rumor.
Mainly going to focus on how watching anime is getting worse, because that's my wheelhouse. To my knowledge, no one who works there has openly supported the atrocities, but I completely understand if you want to draw the line there anyway. Although, if you do, you might have more subscriptions to cancel than you realize. Una is an all-in-one enterprise solution designed to be the, quote, gold standard for
Oh my god, I was at 0 to 1 times speed.
big studios and streaming giants who need their content translated. So it offers pretty much nothing to help with the specific challenges of anime localization. My podcast co-host Miles wrote about this in his anime
Oh my god, that's the guy that used to own Crunchyroll or something.
newsletter on Substack, and according to him, the localization team at Crunchyroll used to use an open source program called AegisSub, which is specifically designed with anime in mind to support advanced typesetting and subtitle styling. That was Crunchyroll's secret sauce, but there were several downsides to using it on the business side of things. The more specialized software, of course, required more specialized talent to use it, and those higher effort subtitles obviously take a whole lot more time to produce than the crap they're settling for now. More advanced typesetting would also require rendering out multiple versions of each anime episode with different hard subs for every language that Crunchyroll offers, because even Crunchyroll's video player can only do so much by itself. Not to mention, platforms like Netflix and Amazon don't support typesetting
Oh
at
my
all.
god, that's City the Animation.
So when Crunchyroll sublicenses an anime to one of those services, they just have to go back and make the subtitles again, but shittier this time anyway. So from a business perspective, changing the software makes some sense, if indeed that is what happened. Crunchyroll hasn't actually confirmed or denied that they're working with Una yet, and all I could get out of my source is that there were nebulous technical and software issues affecting subtitles for some shows, which the team is currently working on fixing. But we still don't have a timeline for when it will be fixed, and regardless, Crunchyroll shouldn't be testing out new technology or a new subtitling pipeline on live anime episodes, let alone all of the new anime episodes for the start of a season. This is when the fandom is the most active in discovering.
I think it would be, because again, this is kind of like the thing we were talking about before. Do you think Crunchyroll sees, like, it probably does. The question is, do you think Crunchyroll sees like a spike in subscriptions and or like already subscribed engagement at the beginning of seasons? Now, the answer is almost certainly yes, but it's probably because the big anime that everybody care about they still follow the seasonal structure, as far as I'm aware. So, like, the first episode of Jujutsu Kaisen Season 3 is probably going to happen at the start of whatever season it's in terms of, like, seasonal anime, not the season. You understand. But, like, I don't think, oh my god, it's the start of a new season is the draw. It's probably, like, people hear about this new anime on something else and they click on it or something. I have no idea. I guess people who are, like, actually, like, anime fans, maybe they open Crunchyroll every day and check it. Like, whenever I turn the PS5 on now, I usually spend, like, 5 minutes on the store just looking at it. But I already know all the new games that are coming out because there'll be, like, 15 kind of funny videos, an IGN review, and all that stuff.
And discussing new anime, a moment where any kind of pain point in the viewing experience can make or break.
No, I will say this. This seems like a legitimate complaint, which is more than I can say, I assume.
Show's chance at finding an audience, and they're out here making it hard to even understand what characters are saying and screwing around to the point that even tentpole shows like Hiroaka aren't coming
Oh my god, is My Hero Academia being marketed as the final season? This
out
is
on
pretty
time. This is a serious slap in the face to Crunchyroll's core audience, but it's far from the only one in the last few years. Despite the platform's rapid post-pandemic
cool. Oh my goodness, number of Crunchyroll paying subscribers worldwide from 2012 to 2024. In millions, 100,000 in 2012. When would I first subscribe to Crunchyroll? I mean, it's probably post-pandemic too, right? I feel like this is like Kiss Anime all the way over here, and then I'm not watching a lot of anime in these years. It is interesting that it's continued to grow. Also, this is a pretty big gap. August 2021 to 2024. Maybe they like stopped reporting the data or something publicly. It is crazy that it's assumingly it's like peak now.
growth, basically every change.
I don't know if framing it as post-pandemic growth then is like apt. Like I don't think like it spiked from 2023 to 2024. I feel like this is like Jujutsu Kaisen related and like anime generally becoming more mainstream than like anything to do with the pandemic. But I guess you could say the roots of that started in the pandemic or something.
That they've made lately has been for the worse. This all really comes back to Crunchyroll's merger with Funimation, which a lot of people thought at the time would mean Crunchyroll just taking over Funimation's licenses and continuing to operate as they had been. After all, they kept the much more successful Crunchyroll branding, and it would be very
Why doesn't Crunchyroll have Naruto's dub?
obviously silly to put the people who made Funimation now, a broken dogshit service that
Anymore, I think.
most people only sub to when they had a really good exclusive for the season, in charge of the very platform that ate their entire lunch and forced them to be bought out by Sony. But the thing about Japanese megacorporations is that seniority is everything. And Funimation's people had been part of Sony longer than Crunchyroll, so when the time came to eliminate redundancies, it was the real anime fans who knew what they were doing who got the axe, while Funimation and Sony execs took over. And since then,
That's interesting if that's true.
Crunchyroll has gone through several more waves of layoffs, each one purging the company of more and more of the people who actually gave a shit about anime, the anime community, and the anime viewing experience. The first real sign
It is interesting because Sony is like a Japanese company, so they would probably be rather neglectful of like English speak like anime traditions or whatever. Though obviously Crunchyroll is only available in the West, right? I would assume available in Japan.
of this change was the degradation of the Crunchyroll
I have no idea how they watch anime in Japan. I don't know if it's literally just still on TV. Or they have other streaming services. Can we Google that? Maybe Heath knows. How is anime consumed in Japan? Should we ask ChatGPT? How popular is anime? Nobody gives a fuck about how popular it is. How do Japanese people 10 years ago? AI overview. Here we go. Anime is primarily through television broadcasts on both free-to-air and cable, and online streaming services with fan option quickly on the internet. Digital terrestrial TV along with specialized cable channels like Animax and TV Tokyo and Toei's not a channel, I don't think. And streaming platforms like Doku and Amazon Japan. This video explains it. It's the Pokemon anime. Japan's obsession with high school anime, sad reality.
But the answer that I found goes a lot deeper than just industry trends and cliches. The answer is a lot more complicated and a lot more depressing. If you ask your average online weeb why so many shows are set in high school,
This doesn't seem to be answering my question at all. But cool, now I know that it's Amazon and Docomo. How is anime in terms of television time in Japan? I just wanted to see the logo for Docomo. Crunchyroll? Crunchyroll's got its goddamn hand in everything.
Crunchyroll store, which almost immediately
I forgot to look at chat. Netflix subs, I think, use the dub transcript, which kind of sucks. That's crazy. Kind of agree, to be honest. It's not earnestness, it's the softening of criticism. I mean, I don't like criticism either. People being mad about shit is funny. I hate when creators downplay how mad they are. Part of the reason I got into your videos, Kyle, was because of how mean you sounded. It's quite refreshing. Oh shit, I'm being earnest. Never mind. True, that's embarrassing. Don't be earnest in my chat. I don't think he was downplaying it though. I thought he was like upplaying it. Which is different. Look, I think the following seasons of anime is normie behavior. Seek shows out based on their synopsis. I don't think any normal person knows that anime about seasonal anime. Kiss Anime was my Crunchyroll, true. Streaming sites like Netflix and NHK exist. 3 years ahead of us, what a goat. What is this YouTube channel? YouTube video, rather, that Heath is linking. The animation, the lesser known love child of this person. This did look like the show for a second. I was like, what the fuck?
A couple of videos about anime.
Show me some
girls in
manga
the past.
panels. I did scroll through the first chapter and to see if it was like the same as the episode, but it wasn't the same as the episode at all.
Poor, impolite,
And also, I do
blossoming
think the art style like is not the same.
alcoholic and beats up old people. To call her
Oh my god,
flaw
there's Pokemon music in the background. But true, doesn't like City. Not City the animation, but just City before us.
Started having the exact same problems that the Funimation store used to have, with unpredictable product delays and damaged goods due to poor packaging. Exactly the sort of thing you expect to see from people who don't really care about anime collectors and just want to move as much product as possible, as quickly as possible, for as little cost as possible. The Right Stuff buyout was supposed to fix that problem by bringing in literally the best people in the anime retail business and all of their supply chain infrastructure, then folding that into the Crunchyroll brand. But I think you already have some idea of what the people in charge now think of letting real anime fans tell them how to run their business, so it probably won't surprise you to hear that what actually happened was the exact opposite. The Crunchyroll store experience stayed exactly as shitty as it had been, while their only real competition simply ceased to be.
Yo guys, it's me Charlie. Hey, that guy just turned to Saiyan.
And to add insult to injury, people who had pre-ordered stuff from Right Stuff ended up having to deal with the same months-long delays, poor communication, and sloppy, low-effort shipping that they went to that other store to avoid in the first place. And that's not even getting into the various Kickstarters for classic anime re-releases that Right Stuff had been running through their Nozomi Entertainment media label, like the Captain Tyler Special Edition that I promoted way back when. Crunchyroll only just started sending out Blu-rays for the Let's Dub Dirty Pair Kickstarter that was funded way back
I want to watch Dirty Pair.
in 2021 with an estimated release date of August 2022. And when they did finally send them out, not only did they fail to deliver on a promised version of the dub with old school sound effects, several of the discs were straight up mislabeled. So yeah, the Right Stuff buyout's been nothing but an unmitigated disaster for anime fans, and it's indicative of a corporate culture that simply does not care what we want because they know they're the only real game in town. But that's still not the most egregious example of Crunchyroll abandoning the anime community. That ignominious distinction belongs to what they've done to their own community features, which you might have noticed just straight up don't exist anymore. 2 years ago, they shut down their forums, which was disappointing, but somewhat
Crunchyroll had forums. We are going to get mention of the great comment section going away. My Mushoku Tensei viewing experience will never be the same. I
understandable
loved the arguments that were going on down
in the
there.
new social media age, except that around the same time, they also started using HTTP encryption to block video screenshots on their site and app, making
True.
it substantially more difficult to clip, cap, and discuss anime on social media. And it made my life personally harder by messing up my whole thumbnail process, just as a nice little treat. But it still wasn't all bad. They did still have the comment section directly under every episode that let you dive right into talking about anime with like-minded fans as you were still watching it. And when you finished the series, you could even write up a review that would appear on the show's homepage, which could then spark further discussion. It was a fantastic feature, clearly thought up by anime fans who spent a lot of time on other anime sites. But you might have noticed that I'm talking about it exclusively in the past tense, and that's because last summer, on July 8th, Crunchyroll just up and deleted the whole thing without any notice, not even giving those fan reviewers a chance to back their work up elsewhere. One day, comments were on, the next, they were gone, and the
That is a funny thing to think about. Man, some guy was chronicling every anime he ever watched and writing detailed reviews on them on the great Crunchyroll website, and he woke up one day and they were all gone.
reason I know
That would not have been a fun day for him.
what specific day it is because it was kind of my fault. Not on purpose, to be clear. It was the last outcome I wanted to see. But 2 days prior to all the comments and reviews going away, I did make a tweet about some homophobic weirdos who were going around review bombing literally every Yaoi and Yuri series on the platform. I wasn't really trying to start a controversy, and I didn't even put any blame on Crunchyroll for it happening. I was just pointing out weird, toxic behavior from culture warrior tourists trying to gatekeep queer genres that have been
It's funny, the weaponizing of the word tourist against the people that usually use it, which is like weird, like right-wing people, is very
part of anime and anime fandom in Japan and abroad since before they were
and cringe and annoying.
even born. Fake anime fans using our hobby to push their political agenda are a much bigger
And they're fake because they're homophobic.
problem than any one anime website, but the tweet did undeniably put some indirect pressure on Crunchyroll to maybe start moderating comments and reviews a little more, like at the very least filter out the obvious copy-paste spam, and I guess they did
This is the only appeal of the Crunchyroll comments, was the Mushoku Tensei fans that ended up actually defending pedophilia. That was great.
some internal calculations and came to the conclusion that it would be cheaper to just nuke the whole feature. A frustrating, disappointing, downright depressing thing to watch unfold when all I wanted to do was mock some guys who forgot about don't like, don't look. But now, as I look back on that moment, it does give me a bit of hope for this one, because even if Crunchyroll's management isn't part of the anime community anymore, there are clearly still real anime fans working there who care about what the community and our little slice of it have to say. They've been out on social media reassuring fans about the subtitle situation as best they can without, an official statement from the higher ups. And even if they don't have nearly as much power within the company as they should or used to, they are still passing the concerns of fans along. Since I tweeted about making this video, they even reached out to me about opening dialogue on these and other anime community issues, so we'll see how that goes. I would love nothing more than to see Crunchyroll go back to being by otaku for otaku, and I honestly think that that would be the best for the long-term sustainability of their brand, but honestly, I don't even know if that's possible anymore, so I'd settle for them just not actively making the experience
Should we watch Dear Crunchyroll stop after this video?
worse for their most hardcore users. Crunchyroll may be huge now thanks to the COVID weeb boom, but without their core audience, they are still a tiny-ass fish in the streaming ocean, and if all of the reasons to watch anime through them instead of Netflix or some less official channels go away, Sony's new golden goose could give up the ghost before they know it. And I don't want to see that happen, because I still think Crunchyroll provides a net positive to anime fans by making sure damn near every show gets translated. Even if you're watching on pirate sites, you're still watching Crunchyroll subtitles, and you'll probably notice the drop in quality there too. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got some poorly subtitled anime to watch and recommendations to write, plus another topical video about the politics of One Piece that I'm really proud of, so please make sure to subscribe and ring the
Oh my goodness, I can't wait for that one.
notification bell if you haven't already to make sure you don't miss any of that. And if you want to support me making more content, especially stuff like this that risks
What was video? Pokemon stopped making movies. This is from Pokemon the first movie. I know because I put this clip in. Manga endings continue to fail. That's really sad. People do be disappointed. Oh my god, my favorite sexy Yu-Gi-Oh girl is actually the best, okay? I don't want to hear this video. Oh, Pokemon's team? I kind of want to watch this Sopranos video first. Jockey Bacon tries to tell me that Emp Lemon is a good video creator, and I don't believe him, so maybe we should try that one too. I feel like nobody in chat cares about the Sopranos. It'll only be 4 minutes, okay? See how hilariously stupid this video is.
So first of all, there's a character called Pussy. His nickname is straight up Pussy, and mothers even use the term in front of it.
I feel like I've heard this voice before. I don't like it, so I would recognize it. Oh, it's a Sopranos channel. Ah, Fredo was very different in the book. Epic. It is true, The Godfather is a book. Don Draper is reading it in the last season of Mad Men. A Who Killed Tony Soprano video, this is how you know you're dealing with a low IQ individual. Should Tony have worn the jacket? True. This is like when Berserk YouTube channels run out of characters to make a video about. So they're speculating on whether or not he should have wore the jacket.
The children. Disgusting. Yes, I know it's in reference to his cat burglar days, but that's not what's going to be on anyone's mind, nor was it on yours when you first watched the show. Not to mention, this character calls Tony Skipper, or Skip.
I've never even thought about that. They do mention that Pussy used to be a cat burglar, and that's probably where his name comes from.
And in the plotline where he faces a moral quandary over his
Because
loyalty,
his actual name is Salvatore.
his FBI handler's name is Skip, which is way too in your face. CGI Livia, whatever happened there. The twin thing the movie did, which threw a lot of people off, where Ray
Okay, so this is actually complaints.
Liotta's character dies, but then he returns
Also, it's mixed in with every bad Sopranos joke you've ever heard. Whatever happened there.
to in your face. CGI Livia, whatever happened there. The twin thing the movie did, which threw a lot of people off, where Ray Liotta's character dies, but then he returns as his twin brother, was also done in The Sopranos, when Big Mouth Philly is taken out, but David Chase thought the actor was so great, they brought him back as his twin Patsy, even giving him a plotline where he grieves over his dead brother. Again, we don't really see a problem with this
True.
because it's spaced out. Spoons is taken out in season 2, but Patsy is only properly introduced in the next season. Not to mention, the show had 2 other instances of the same actors playing twins, like Carmela's neighbor, who had a scene where the twins talk, and there's no wide shot because it's pretty obvious that it's the same person. Actors also portray different people. Adriana's actress was a random hostess early on, and the most egregious example is Vito Spatafori's actor showing up in a speaking role as Gino in season 1, and yet plays a completely different fat fuck starting from season 2. Tony comes to the realization that his best friend is a rat because a talking fish tells him in a dream. Silvio Dante is simply a
No, it's because his subconscious knew the whole time.
caricature. The actor is over the top and hammy, and there was pretty much no way for the actor portraying him in the movie to get the character right. It's a lose-lose situation. If he plays it straight, people would complain that the character doesn't resemble a young Silvio. If he does Silvio's mannerisms, people would complain, and they did, that it's like watching an SNL sketch. But that's pretty much what Steven Van Zandt's portrayal is. But it's because it's a fully ingrained, established element of the show that was there from the beginning that we sit still and take it. Think of it this way. Imagine
This is retarded.
there was no Silvio in The Sopranos. And then
Silvio is not that over the top. It's just if you remember the Sopranos and memes that you would think that.
the character shows up in season 5 or 6. Do you really think us viewers wouldn't go, what the hell is this supposed to be? It's like a parody. There are multiple black characters in the show who have storylines, some dedicated ones like Massive Genius, Reverend James Jr., Jamal Ginsburg, and that cop who gives Tony a ticket. Plus, there's a fair bit of dialogue, especially during the HUD scam episode, about the Newark riots, about how these characters were alive when it happened and they experienced it. The point I'm making is that many fans complained that David Chase wanted to make a Newark riots movie and slapped on a Sopranos sticker to get the movie greenlit, and that the movie went woke by focusing heavily on the black character Harold. But the African-American DNA and the Newark riots connection was always part of the connective tissue of the show.
True.
So what's the difference?
The Sopranos isn't
The
woke.
difference is that in the film, it takes up a huge amount of the movie. Essentially, Harold is the second main character, whereas in the show, these plots are spread throughout the course of around 86 hours. There's a lot of repeated storylines
If you're gonna have black people in the show, make sure you spread it out.
or plot points used to drive the narrative. As I talked about in another video, in many ways, Richie Aprile and Ralph Cifaretto are the same character. And then you have the constant motif of
What? They're characterized 1,000,000% differently. They're acted completely differently. They have completely different storylines. They're both like bad guys that annoy Tony that he ends up, well, he doesn't end up getting to kill Richie.
wise guys
Stupid.
coming out of the can. And don't get me started on the amount of car accidents there are on the show. These writers were less creative than Spielberg. There's that bizarre Star Wars slow motion wipe transition and cold cuts. A lot of the hits are ridiculous. Tony pulls a gun out of a fish. Vito appears out of thin air to whack Jackie Jr.
The Sopranos isn't a
with
serious
a toy
show.
gun. The mayor Munchkin Man isn't suspicious when he's in the middle of a mob war when 2 Italians block his drive and start asking him questions. Even during one of the most important scenes in the show's history, the whacking of the rat, Fabi Petrulio, who is all alert, looking for danger, and Tony materializes like a ninja out of nowhere. And then consider how easily they get away with hits in the show. Chrissy and Paulie killing the waiter, Big Puss killing the Elvis impersonator. When Skip was right there when the guy spotted Puss, he'd know Puss would have a reason to kill him, so surely the quote-unquote Huffy accomplice was involved. There's a lot of times realism is thrown aside to make way for story moments or even comedy, like when Paulie and Silvio, 2 high-up maid guys, take AJ, a middle school boy, to his prom. Tony beats up Mike
True.
Pamadis, a maid guy, right-hand man of doom.
Okay, this video is as dumb as I thought it
This
was,
is
but
very
I am
disabled
loving it.
the case of fuckface-itis, and nothing is made of it. Yet, a few seasons later, when Tony punches Ralph, it's suddenly a big thing and a major story.
True.
Gigi's sudden health problem-
Inconsistencies from season 1 to the
Blowing the
future.
gasket is a
What are we gonna do about
Only
that?
writing contrivance to make way for Tony having to pick Ralph as the new capo of the Aprio crew. They couldn't fucking sell it. The premiere of season 3, just for context, this is now after 2 seasons of the show being a smash hit cultural phenomenon. And when the 3rd season of the show starts, we get something of a silly spy caper satire with the FBI trying to find bugs in Tony's home, and the Sopranos are side characters in their own show. Again, nobody cares. It was a really fun episode. But the reason we don't care is because it was just one episode in a 13-episode season. You can do weird stuff like that in a TV show. You can't do it in a 2-hour movie. The depiction of American football and soccer
Are we still making fun of the movie? What's
were
happening?
ridiculous, like AJ becoming a hero after nabbing one fumble. That animal Blondetto is dropped into the show out of nowhere, and the series furiously tries to retroactively convince us that he and Tony Uncle Johnny had a close relationship growing up, even though he isn't mentioned for 4 seasons of the show. And the show can't seem to decide on whether he's a genius with a high IQ or a moron, or simply whatever the plot needs him
That's the point of the whole show.
to be at any given time. And he's just one character. There's 4 fucking families we never see in the show, and we've got this pygmy thing in Jersey. Amid serious tensions between New York and New Jersey, we deviate from the main plot with a wacky test dream, not to mention how long Tony's coma dream goes on for in season 6A. During a fair few episodes, Vito becomes the main character of the show, and his plotline contains all sorts of ridiculous things, like the handlebar-tashed, Harley-riding Jim falling for this oval-shaped parade float. They fuck anybody and everybody over there. There's some Goodfellas callbacks that are just a bit weird, like Paulie repeating his joke, or Albert constantly repeating things. I don't see any reason for this aside from riffing off the classic Jimmy Two-Time scene in Goodfellas. Not to mention all the Goodfellas actors in season 1, the characters talking about the film, a Martin Scorsese lookalike showing up, which is supposed to be Scorsese. It just feels like it's so in love with the film. It would be like The Many Saints of Newark coming out, and constantly having references to Road to Perdition or something, and throwing in loads of actors from the film into it. Muscles Marina gets beaten up by a 350-pound whale who's a couple of months away from coming out of a coma and recovering from a gunshot wound. There are storylines in the show, and this is for those who feel Harold's storyline has no ending, that don't seem to end. Whatever happened to Catherine Romano, the strong silent type? Furio straight up disappeared. The storyline petered out, died on the vine. The guy, he moved or something. Melfi becomes a drunk, and then within 3 episodes, that plot is dropped. It's sad when storylines go young like that.
No, the drunk storyline is resolved.
Jackie Jr. is practically an underling in the mob, shadowing Richie Aprile. And then in season 3, it's like they reset the character and he's a guy trying to do well in college. Timeline got fucked up. And I'm not even including any of the weird shenanigans of the pilot, like Khan confronting Meadow with an AK-47.
Well, that was a video. It was as good as I thought it was going to be. Oh my goodness, I just want to learn about my favorite Yu-Gi-Oh girl. What's going on? I do wonder how many people believe they're actually reading fan subs when they turn or stream a show. It is funny. I think that was a good little point he made in there, where it's like the streaming sites, the illegal ones you read, are just ripping it from Crunchyroll. Obviously, that's why it takes like 3 minutes for Weeb Central to get the fucking Chainsaw Man chapters.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Alexis Rhodes is one of the most iconic girls
This voice is promising.
in not just Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, but in the entirety of the franchise. She was the first female character.
God, Yu-Gi-Oh's got the best girls. We got My Valentine. We got this girl. We got the Rose girl from 5Ds. You mean D's? I see some D's going on here.
Who was both known to be a strong duelist and had the on-screen wins to back that up. Sorry, Mike. But despite that fact,
I don't. My never wins? Question mark. I'm trying to remember what her deck was like.
Alexis is by far and away the most hated character in all of Yu-Gi-Oh! Not by the fans. No, plenty of fans love Alexis, and I personally enjoy her character
Oh, it's by the Riders or something because she doesn't win.
as well. No, what I'm talking about is that she is the most hated character in Yu-Gi-Oh! Among the writers. And it is
I know a bad YouTube video when I see it, and I know which direction they're going,
not
goddammit.
close. Because no character in the entirety of Yu-Gi-Oh! Has ever gotten this much disrespect 3 separate times. Let me explain.
Because I figure, if there is intelligent life out there, then let's teach him how to duel.
Okay, so if you've been watching my channel for
Epic.
long enough, first of all, thank you, I appreciate it. You might have heard me talk about GX and how it refused to focus on anyone but Jaden 90% of the time. And unfortunately, Alexis was not spared by that. Sure, she got some good momentum in the first season, getting 4
I feel like I remember some storylines that weren't with Jaden, but I haven't watched the show in like 15 years.
on-screen duels and winning 3 of them. I bet you can't guess who she lost to. But with every season, her importance was drastically toned down.
God, they're in the white things because they were the top classmen.
Throughout the show, Alexis had 10 full-length duels. She got 4 in season 1, another 4 in season 2, 0 in season 3, and 2 in season 4. But it gets worse.
Zero?
Because she technically have to remove a duel in season 2 because she was being brainwashed and wasn't herself, as well as a tag duel in season 4 where she literally did nothing. That's not me being nitpicky, by the way. That's literally what she said. So, all in all, that's 8 full duels she participated in, and 7 of them happened in the first half of the show. Make that make sense. Add that to the fact that she had so many missed opportunities for interesting duels, facing her brother while he was being controlled by Night Shroud, or facing Blair as they were the
I
only two
remember that guy.
consistent female duelist in GX. Overall, Alexis in the anime is just a very, very
I
underutilized
vaguely remember that little girl.
character, which I know you can say for most of the cast,
I
but trust
remember this dude.
me, somehow it gets worse with.
Oh man, Sam
Not the manga.
Alright, I'm not gonna lie to you, I have not read the GX manga. I want to, but I haven't, so that's my fault. However, I don't need to read the manga to know that Alexis' treatment here wasn't much better than in the anime. Because while anime Alexis at least won most of her on-screen duels with 6 wins and 2 losses, manga Alexis has an abysmal record of 1 win and 4 losses against named characters. The context doesn't help a lot either, as she got
That's
OTK'd in her
upsetting.
3rd duel, and for only counting duels that we see fully, she only gets 3. Her obligatory loss to Jaden, her OTK, and her only win, which was in a tag duel with Bastion against a much less cool version of Jesse and Adrian. Overall, manga Alexis just had a really hard time standing out from this extremely stuffed cast, which for some reason decided it would be a good idea to add even more
Wait, she
important characters.
comes back?
Alexis,
And that makes 3, fellas. So if I were you,
In Arc V?
there are a lot of things you can say about the Arc 5 anime. Some of them good, a lot of them bad, but one thing I think everyone was excited for was the return of legacy characters like Jack, Crow, Aster, Kite, and yes, Alexis. Well, actually, they're not really.
In my head, the 5D thing is like in its own universe. I know that like Yugi is in episode 1 of GX, but that doesn't make any sense either. So I don't even like characters crossing over like this. There is the one movie where they all join up, I think, but that's like a fake movie. Obviously, it's like when Goku hangs out with Luffy or some shit.
Really, legacy characters, they're alternate universe versions of them, which I guess is cool too. But even then, a major complaint amongst fans is that these guys probably shouldn't have been in the show, as they just ended up taking screen time from other characters that deserved it more. That's strike 2 for you, Crow. But one character that didn't take up too much of everyone's time was, you guessed it, Alexis. She has only 2 duels in the entire show. Her first duel was in
What is this ugly
3
redesign?
officers that were trying to arrest the main girl of Arc 5, Yuzu, or Zuzu in dub. How the frick did they change that? And yes, beating 3 people at once is a cool introduction. Sure, they may be no names, but this is promising. Surely she won't be utterly embarrassed by her next right. Her next opponent was a man named...
She's not a main character, she's a jobber, get over it. Now that was some quality content. There's just so many videos. How can I choose one to watch? Why did Pokemon stop making movies? This guy sucks too. Let's check him out.
To read to you is a review of one of the biggest...
Oh, the voice. This is Earnestness the Voice.
To read to you is a review of one of the biggest shonen manga series, and I want you to figure out which series it's referring to in your mind as I read it. Quote,
It could be Attack on Titan, it could be Jujutsu Kaisen, it could be My Hero Academia. They all had terrible endings, apparently. Maybe Demon Slayer.
started out as a very promising character-driven manga with several great arcs. It's a massive shame.
Oh, it's not an actual review. It's just a generalized thing that you could put anything into, and that reflects the core theme here that a lot of manga end and people online in the West like.
It didn't keep up. The story starts with a bang, builds and builds, wraps up in the first 2 arcs in a satisfying manner, then trips over itself, rolls down a hill,
Attack on Titan should have ended in Shinganshina.
Into the ocean and sinks into the abyss. I can say I was thoroughly disappointed with the way it ended after the potential it showed at first. It was a true shame once again to have a shonen series fall victim to this. It left a terrible
Naruto didn't need that war arc.
aftertaste. If you have an answer, I want you to hold on to it for just a little bit longer. One of the things that fascinates me about modern manga is how frequently
He thinks he's gotcha. He thinks right now you're thinking about a particular manga is going to blow your mind when it can apply to many different ones. My Hero Academia has got 430 chapters. It's a lot of chapters. Who's this little midget Deku's now doing?
we get endings to major players that turn out to either be disappointing or not well received. My Hero Academia, JJK, Hopefully Rent a Girlfriend, and Oshinoko are a few of the big ones, with others
True, Rent a Girlfriend sucks. We love this Discord.
like Kaiju number 8's upcoming ending not looking to fare well with all the general blandness that many criticize it for. Not only that, but many manga also receive massive delays with tons of amazing series on hiatus, like Hunter x Hunter or Vagabond. So today, I'd like to
When's Berserk coming back?
explore why so many manga fall
Oh,
off.
there's Madara from Naruto. Oh, Chainsaw Man. I guess some people... I didn't really like Chainsaw Man's ending originally.
fail to deliver or never get finished at all, along with shining a spotlight on what I believe to be the main culprit of all of this. My name is Josh. I'm the host of Beyond Media, and this is
Is
why
the main culprit going to be Naruto? Please tie back to
manga endings will
Naruto.
continue to fail. But before we get into the rest of the script, this video was sponsored by me. Before YouTube, I actually used to try to write articles on the website Medium, which is a place where anyone can start writing articles and talk about whatever they love.
Me too, brother. Me too.
I started again, and the first thing in the description is actually something I wrote talking about how I started YouTube. I like to use it as sort of a private journal, talking about everything I've learned about the most fascinating and storytelling for me. While often used in the same sentences or used interchangeably with anime, they are completely different mediums. Manga has the ability to bridge and connect several different skill sets that is incredibly unique and may times require a very different toolkit than
Manga's
something like a
way
novel. While it
better.
does have its limitations, manga is able to break free
Anime
from some of the
fucking
weaknesses of its peers,
sucks.
not requiring descriptions or lengthy prose or stimulating animation, with panels that are able to be manipulated and abused to create something completely unique and
Fight
expression
scenes
storytelling.
suck in
Paneling
both
is one of the greatest strengths of this medium that has a very specific charm, often being able to communicate the very core of what a scene is doing better than any other, and
What was that manga?
impressive hand reaching down so domineering that it breaks free from the weight of borders in order to cover the other images of the story. Small boxes organized in a choppy yet connected way that is able to thread together
Now that's a cool panel.
an entire fight while communicating how fast, dominant, and visually beautiful of a battle that it was.
And
Phenomenal
by
manga
panel, I mean page. Hey, I remember seeing this one on Twitter.
not only takes advantage of the expressive art within the confines of a box, along
Oh,
with
you're like, man, this shit should be cool. But it's that shit fucking One Punch Man manga that... What a terrible premise for a story. I'm never reading or any One Punch Man, okay?
to others, but also the infinity of white between the images themselves. Just like in this exchange of Guts fighting where we see his reaction, his strain, then the massive sword that follows, communicating how quick his reaction time and capacity
This is my favorite Berserk panel.
for
right
violence
here.
is. There are, of course, limitations to this ability to communicate. One of my favorite examples of anime being able to take manga and force it into brilliance
That's
is something
Demon
like
Slayer, I
Story
think.
technique, which requires exposition and paneling in the manga, but in the anime is used to generate even more hype or momentum, or in music anime like K-On! Or Bushi the Rock. However, those limitations of a frozen image, the white between artwork, the need for a page to actually be turned, or the lack of convenient exposition opportunity brings with it a massive slew of complications. There are a ton of inherent limits that exist within this medium. However, those very limitations are what allow these artists to push what is conceptually possible within this medium. In fact, the very existence of limitations in any art form is
Oh,
what
it's
generates the most volatile
Berserk.
growth and
That's
innovation.
Koski
It's
getting
another
raped
reason that video
there.
games, for example, are free of the limitation of old pixel graphics and are able to tell stories that are visually stunning and compelling. Something like Undertale or Voice Stranger, or Fear and Hunger, are still able to contend and stand with them due to all the other strengths that those very limitations have created. Within this art form, though, which restriction of manga
No, it's this fucking shit manga. I hate Monster. Anyway, what? I need to catch up with chat. I do wonder how many people are so hyped. Oh, what was Twilight hyped about? Alexis? Shonen manga have a war arc problem. Not everyone needs to end in massive battles. I love more personal fight encounters. No, wars are epic. We love wars. Name a good Final War arc. The Great Naruto one, greatest arc of all time. Shiganshina isn't the Final War. They always feel like more of an obligation because that's how manga end, but it doesn't have to be that way. Berserk but end with a war where Storm and Falconia, or I'll be pissed off. I'm not reading it anyway. Oh my god, I hate Monster so much. Oh my god, Twilight, we're just two peas in a pod, even though I just disagreed with your war take. Monster sucks.
Do you think has shattered the most coal and produced the most diamonds? If the constraints for art is what allows it to so often flourish,
This fucking loser.
I think hard pressed to find someone that disagrees that the endless time crunch is the most brutal and devastating limitation that these creators are often forced to adhere to, whether because of the magazine itself or the
When will Mappa learn?
pressure from fans. Mangaka often work tireless hours to ensure their stories come
Oh,
out
we're
on
talking about mangaka here.
a weekly basis. Regardless of what you think of any individual mangaka, this level of pressure and dedication is respectable. The fact that so many of these creators endure for this long is nothing less than inspiring. Many of these authors often become self-destructive, finding hospitalized for long periods of time or barely eating or sleeping to ensure that their work is of the highest quality. I mean, imagine this scenario for me, right? You are a fledgling potter, finally taking up the title after getting a little bit of work. And by fledgling, I mean you've made a few things here and there, but you
Remember when Alita did this in his most recent video? He had a whole metaphor.
have no experience. However, once you make your first pot, people start to notice, and it's actually good. I mean, really good. In fact, so is your second one, and your third. And actually, people start to realize that you're so good, they travel from across the world just to see you come in every day and create your pottery. They watch you mold and bake and paint and eventually display your hard work. But then
They be traveling to see me come in. Huh.
suddenly, you get asked to
That was
switch
pretty
to making
good on
faces. It's not unreasonable, I guess. You made
I
pots
thought about not saying it. You see how I said it 10 seconds after I should have said it?
people seem to love those, so you start to make faces. And they do pretty well. People still like them. But as thousands begin to watch you every day, the pressure
I did pottery once in like grade 3,
starts to add up.
I
and
wasn't
become
very
more
good
and
at it.
more oppressive.
but doesn't it look cool?
And as you work, people actually start to condemn your work. They point out all the little mistakes or issues in your craft, and so slowly but surely...
True,
the
people
thou-
be making fun of mangaka. It's not very nice. Now, I assume this is like people make fun of them, so that's why they get insecure and don't do good. Now, all these mangaka, and I don't know if it's because they're Japanese or what, they're all little losers. None of them seem confident in anything they've ever done. They all think they suck. It's embarrassing.
Thousands are still there.
Then we got these YouTubers. They think they're all fucking geniuses and they're all making this video. The same fucking thing you've seen 15,000 times. And we're giving them all of our money.
But it seems like none of them have anything nice to say. In fact, they even start looking at your old pots and telling you that those weren't even that good in the first place. The potter here has a name. In fact, this fake little scenario mirrors a real-life person who was forced to survive under the relentless eyes of his audience and the weekly pressures of the industry. And
Which one's it gonna be?
that person's name is Gege Akutami. Akutami had
Not gay. This guy made Jujutsu Kaisen. I know my mangaka.
one of the
That's
most
the
successful
second
graphic
battery
organizations that there had been in a long time. JJK took over the online sphere, winning Anime of the Year and permanently
Permanently damaged?
damaging the minds of anyone with Instagram and Twitter with lobotomy Kaizen roaming the streets of the internet. Akutami had only published 3 one-shots before
Not whatever that is. I don't know these fucking references. This guy gives me so many Imagine metaphors. True, Imagine's pretty good. I'm sure in a video. Okay, maybe this pottery metaphor is pretty good. Pottery's pretty good. Don't get fooled into thinking the metaphor is good. Well, we certainly maybe watched a few videos this stream, huh? Though I'm not certain we did. Mother's Basement, we gotta love to hate him. Or hate to love him. The second one. I'll take 17 Mother's Basements over a single Chibi review, so we can rest on that laurel at least. Did you see Asmongold was celebrating getting that lady fired from Sucker Punch? That wasn't very nice. Anyway, Sucker Punch is in video game studio. They made Ghost of Tsushima and that stuff. I ain't played those games, though. Now, I probably ain't going to stream the next 2 days because we got a goddamn motherfucking video to make. And I don't know. I don't know how long this video is going to be, so I don't know. Because if I actually record some of the video, then maybe I would stream after that. Which, I want to say is hopefully a possibility in the next 2 days, though I'm not certain. But also, there should be a Chainsaw Man chapter in about a week, and it would be good if I could get it out before then. But then what if the chapter somehow that makes my video outdated? I've done that before, made a big video. The next day, fucking Aaron comes out and says euthanasia is gay, and then I look like a fucking idiot. But, these are the stresses I must live with. Mother's Basement is a love-hate relationship anyways. What's the video about? Denji from Chainsaw Man, and how he's a cool guy. Tell me it's not secondary ENT. No, there's no secondary ENT videos planned at the moment. I'll figure some out, though. Anyway, we're going flat. I'm leaving.